Today on the podcast, I have Aaron Alexander. Aaron Alexander is a dating coach for guys. He helps guys better themselves internally and externally to help them find the girls of their dreams. I met Aaron on a boot camp that I took with him in Santa Monica, right down the street from my house, and I participated in a full day of approaching girls, him giving me advice and helping me better myself. In this podcast, we talk about Aaron's upbringing and how he changed himself from being, how he said, a fat dweeb to the amazing guy he is today. If you guys are not into pickup or socializing, Aaron demystifies all the criticism this subject matter has. I hope you guys can approach this with an open mind and enjoy the podcast. All right, guys, welcome back to the Good to Man podcast. Today on the show, I have Aaron Alexander. Aaron Alexander, man, how are you doing today, bro?
I'm doing great, bro. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Dude, of course. So, guys, I took Aaron's boot camp here in Santa Monica for a day game. We did day game for about 6 hours straight. It was fucking completely insane, just going, hammering it out during the day. Usually, as you guys seen on not my podcast, but on my YouTube channel, I go out a lot at night. So day game, I was extremely nervous. I was like, for sure have to do a program. And honestly, it was so worth it, just going out and having so much more confidence now, just being out in public and just being like, okay, I'm going to approach like I normally would with the same charisma, same energy during the day, and not be so scared to be out in the open in the light. During the night, I'm sure you can kind of just hide away and sneak off.
Yeah, it's very vulnerable. You're really putting yourself in a vulnerable situation. And what you'll find is when I saw Day Game for the first time years ago, I saw it online. I was like, oh, this is weird as fuck. I am going to do this when I'm an old man and I don't want to go to clubs anymore. Like, this seems strange. I thought it was so crazy. But then what happened was my mind got so consumed with game in general that I was like, well, what am I going to do all day today? I'm off of work. I want a game. So I started doing Day Game. And what you'll find is that women love the story. They love it. They love being able to tell their friends. They love bringing it up to you again. I still just can't believe we met at Whole Foods. It's like it's like so crazy the way we met. They love it, man. It's romantic.
Yeah. Damn. So let's get into it. How did you even start like going into, like pickup and dating and game and everything?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was a fat little dweeb my whole life. I was always just the fat, funny friend. Okay. I was always not good at sports. And so I think I coped with all of that by being funny, by becoming funny. Yeah. So I was always that dude. And then, you start getting horny around 11, 12, around that age.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, like, I always had cool guy friends. I'm hanging out with like cool dudes in middle school and they're starting to hook up a lot. All the time.
Yeah. Okay.
They're like, dude, like 12, 13 years old. They're like, dude, I made out with fucking Rachel Mauer at the party. Like, I fingered Andrea, like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And dude, and now I'm just like, oh my God, I'm getting crushes on all these girls. I'm getting crushes on, just fucking Jordan Reese, Ashley White, all these girls. And I can't do anything about it. So that just continues over time until eventually now I'm in a dark place. Now I'm 22. I've now hooked up with a couple girls over the years that I was not into at all. I'm a severe alcoholic, super overweight. And I had this buddy who he was never into self-development, but he would always motivate me. He'd always just be like, bro, you can get out of this, man. You could, you'll be able to be better in life, that kind of thing. And he sent me a video about depression. And in the video, Owen Cook, of course, in the video that was supposed to be just about depression, he keeps saying in that video, he goes, now when I'm out at the club picking up chicks, now when this comes to dating high quality women, now when I'm gaming girls, and I'm like, why does this guy keep talking about picking up chicks?
Yeah.
So I go to his channel and I discover game. Yeah. And that was it. That was all I needed. All I needed was to know that you can learn this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think so. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, you know, Carrie, Jordan, Dominic, all these guys, these are the guys that are going to get all the girls. I'm just not that dude. I
Yeah.
literally had come to the realization of my life that one day, hopefully through a job, I'll be able to meet an unattractive woman that wants to marry me.
Mm.
I would just, that was going to be my future.
Fuck.
And so I discovered game and I was out within 24 hours. I was in the field
Fuck, for real? You jumped right into it?
immediately,
Dude, that's
immediately.
so dope. What made you even go right into it? Because like even when I discovered it, it took me like, okay, I'm probably gonna try this the next time I go out. I don't know when the next time is gonna be, but you jumped right in. Huh? You must have been in a very like deep hole to like.
Dude, I felt like I was living in darkness and now like the clouds had opened up and the
Yeah.
sun had come down on me. I mean, I binge watched then like in the same day I'm finding every pickup coach online.
Yeah.
I'm binge watching videos. I'm like, "Oh my god, oh my god." And at that time being a severe alcoholic, you know, I
Mm,
would go out and get wasted.
yeah.
So I already was getting drunk with friends when I'd go out, but now I was like, bro, we're gonna go out tonight just to meet women.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, I do that all the time anyway, because he was already getting laid.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I had to get drunk. You know, I still like my very beginnings of game, I was getting wasted, but now I'm legit sitting there like, all right, there's a girl I would never ever talk to in my life. Let
Yeah.
me just go, hey, what are you guys doing tonight? And you know, it was not going well. And
Yeah.
then game led me into everything else in life. I finally had to say to myself after about 2 months in game where I'm
Hmm.
just super fat, terrible acne because I drank lots of milk and ate a lot of dairy.
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, if I hate my body, I don't look good.
Yeah.
This ain't going to happen for me. It's just not. So I got on the diet. I lost a shit ton of weight in like 6 months and
Nice.
just continued onward. Yeah.
Dude, that's so sick. So it really just changed your entire life. Game was like the gateway to self development in general.
Yeah, just and to hope. Game was the
Mm,
gateway to hope for me.
yeah.
I would I would wake up with like crazy panic attacks at night and I would just be
Mm,
like before I
damn.
discovered game and
Hmm.
self-development because dude, I looked terrible. I felt awful. I felt like an old man every morning. I'd wake up and just like just crawl out of bed.
Yeah.
And so I would wake up with these panic attacks at night and be like, dude, you're going nowhere. You always thought you were going to do something with your life. You're doing nothing. You're shit. I would have so much like self-hatred.
Fuck.
And so then when I discovered game, that gave me hope because now I'm tuning into Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, Ty
Yeah.
Lopez, Gary Vee. I'm discovering this whole world of people that have dedicated their lives to empowering other people. And that's what then eventually years later led me on to, you know, my current path.
Got it. And then what type of like other self development stuff do you do?
So I'm really deep into I do a lot of spiritual coaching.
Oh, sick.
I have a coach. Her name is Hadia. You guys could find her at hadialoving.com. And she calls herself a spiritual counselor.
Okay.
And for me, what I think she does for me is I kind of call her like an energy slash performance coach.
Okay.
I think that she has really helped me to just to unlock a lot of my own deeply rooted limiting beliefs,
Hmm.
to get past those, to recognize patterns in my life that have stemmed from one defense mechanism you maybe do when you're 7 and then you're doing it again when you're 10
Mm,
and 14 and now you're 30 and you're
yeah.
still retaliating
Yeah.
because that inner child was so hurt.
Mm,
So she does a lot of inner child work, and I've been working with her on and off for 3 years now and I
yeah.
really think she's helped me to unlock my true potential.
And then it's been helping you in business and in game and just dating in general as well.
Yeah, everything. I think what she does is she really helps you to just to feel more free
Mm,
and to she's really big on self-love. That's like
got
her
it.
whole philosophy on life is she's like if we could get everybody on the planet to love themselves, there would be
Mm,
no more war, there would be no more like famine, starving, just
hmm.
all of this kind of stuff. So she's really big on helping you to also break the cycle of self-hate when you do
Mm,
have a shortcoming or a temporary failure,
yeah.
which then because you're able to not go into that darkest hole, now you might just fall down a notch instead of 20 notches, and now you climb out
Right.
faster.
Got
So
it.
I think she's really helped me with that.
I feel
Yeah.
like you teach your clients that as well. No, like being okay with yourself. I mean, you kind of have to if you're gonna go out and meet women and be confident. You kind of have to like let go of those like past inhibitions, right? What do you tell your clients?
Yeah, it's just that we're just living in our own little Truman Show. Have you ever seen the
Mm.
Truman Show?
I've heard references. I haven't seen the full movie, but I know what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Truman Show, I mean, you find out relatively early on, so it's not a big spoiler, that it's Jim Carrey, and he's basically living a life on a fake island where he's being filmed 24/7, and he's
Right.
he's a show. And so we're all living in our own little show where every move we make, everything we do is just so important. Everything is just such a big deal. That thing I said
Mm.
was so stupid. Everyone thinks I'm so dumb, as if the world is watching and caring.
Yeah.
And so I think that even for me, something that's really helped me is just grasping onto it almost sounds dark to some people, but grasping onto insignificance
Mm.
and having an understanding of insignificance, because you can add significance to your life and choose what you want to do with your life and become significant. um but when you start realizing that everybody is just focused on themselves, then you
Yeah.
start realizing I'm not that bad, I'm not that terrible. And you start realizing, hey, I've made some mistakes in the past, but I'm not those mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm not my failures. I'm not the time I embarrassed myself. All I am is right now. So I'm going to do the best with what I've got right now.
Yeah. I think that helped me a lot. That thought came when I started meditating more and I was
Mm.
able to let things go. Obviously, as you know, when you go out, you are going to say embarrassing things. You're going to get shut down really bad. And then you can feel like your blood flow, just like, oh, I can't believe I said that. I look weird. But like meditating helped me so much to be able to like drop it, move on, next thing, you know?
What forms of meditation do you do? What, like, how long, and what kind of stuff do you do?
I do just sit down 20 minutes, bro. Like I'll just sit down and I'll just breathe in
Mm.
and out, and then I'll just try to let go as much as I can. Any thoughts, sometimes embarrassing things will come to mind, like, whatever I fucked up yesterday or whatever, and I'll just kind of like let that go little by little. And bro, like that helps me so much to not feel any smidget of like embarrassment when I'm going out or I'm giving a speech or whatever. Like that helps me so much. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's they call that, I think it was David D way back in the day that had
Oh, I
this
love
term,
them.
your mental desk, right?
Okay.
And so your mental desk, you've got papers all over it, you've got this and the calendar, and everything's just so chaotic.
Yeah.
And so when you don't meditate, when you never have silence to yourself, which is, in my opinion, one of the worst things happening in culture today,
Mm,
is nobody is ever just with themselves anymore,
mm,
ever. Nobody's
yeah.
doing meditation. Everybody is glued to that phone, and
Yeah.
everybody grabs that phone the second they wake up.
Yeah.
So when you should be having those clear thoughts, that planning for the day, your cortisol's a little high, so you're kind of in problem solving mode. You do yourself a disservice. You shut down all of that, and you just grab the phone and you just lay there on fucking Instagram and then
Yeah.
Facebook and back and forth. And
Yeah.
dude, there's science behind how that wrecks you. But
Yeah.
when you can sit in silence, and you choose to sit in silence, and my favorite thing to do is to go for phoneless walks. I do it
Okay.
all the time. Today I did about a 30-minute walk this morning, not for cardio, not to rush, just to literally go wander around in the sun, and no phone. And then what happens is, now you're left with that mental desk, and now that clutter starts getting organized and put into the drawers, and
Yeah.
now you just feel more present in any situation and less chaotic and anxious.
Dude, I love that. I love that you go for walks and just relax and be chill.
The most interesting people in the world are wanderers, bro.
Mm,
If you're not going on silent walks, you're not going to make it. you
wow.
have you have to Anybody listening to this right now, like, dude, you have to go on silent walks. You have to go out and be around the world and a part of the world,
Hmm.
and not be I said on my podcast yesterday, I said that the phone fucking thrusts you out of presence in a way that we can't even fathom. I mean, I'm on the phone and now I'm literally like living through Jay Alvarez's life in fucking Mykonos right now. Like he's jumping out of a fucking plane, and then I get a notification in the DM, and now I'm over in my DMs, and now the Snapchat, and then and it's just like I'm not even here anymore. I might as well be in the fucking Matrix plugged into my phone.
Right. Yeah.
It's insanity.
Yeah. What kind of hate do you get as being like a pickup coach and a dating coach? Because like right now, we're talking about nature walks, we're talking about relaxing the mind, but I bet people when they first meet you or you tell them what you do, they probably think you're a fucking sleazeball and they don't fucking see like the work behind, taking care of yourself and improving yourself.
What kind of hate do I get?
Or do you get any hate?
How long you got? Can we run this for 3 hours? I mean, this is gonna take a bit.
Oh shit. Oh boy.
Nah, dude. I mean, it's man, here's the thing is I used to allow more hate. I used to let more hate in.
Yeah.
Now I'm just so everything in life is about, we use this word frame and no one really grasps what frame really means, but what frame is it's your frame of mind. It's the frame of mind that you have and the way that you position things in your life. And so for me, I think I used to get more hate when I was more reactive to it. And for a very long time, I've chosen to not react in any way, shape, or form to any version of hate. And because of that, I've gotten less over the years. But some of the versions I will get is I'll get it that the people that hate on me the most are men who don't do well with women.
Right. Like the white knights, like the ones that are reflecting themselves onto you.
Wow, man, you have to really try that hard. People need that. People need to learn how to, dude, when I was in college, I would just go like stand at a bar. It's not that hard. I mean, just ridiculous shit. And these guys, it's like they live a life of mediocrity. So to them, they're mediocre results. The fact that they were in college for 4 years and over that time had 2 one-night stands and then a 3-year girlfriend. To them, it's like that. It was easy, bro. Like, what the fuck? It's like, bro, these girls were. It's ridiculous. So you'll get a lot of that from guys that suck, dudes that have never heard of game, that are grounded, awesome guys. They love game. Okay, they love it.
Fuck yeah.
I love telling this story because everyone in pickup, I call it audience anxiety. And it's where you might not have any nervousness to go talk to a girl. Usually most guys do, but you might be totally fine if she was just in a field by herself. However, you're on a busy street, like say Santa Monica, you're in the grocery store, there's people around. You're like, fuck, people are going to hear this. And there's a couple things here. So one, I always teach guys to use an empathetic voice. So guys will ask me, say, dude, how do I talk to a girl? I have a lot of clients in New York. How do I talk to a girl on a subway when it's like packed? And, there's such an emphasis on being like alpha and fucking, really confident that some guys would teach you like, go up and just be like, hey, I saw you here. I thought you were super attractive. I had to come say what's up. That's cool. That's fine. But I say to use an empathetic tone, meaning, are you about to open this girl on the subway and now force her to public speak? Now if you go up all loud and now she's like, oh my God, everyone's listening to this. So you see that girl go up and whisper, hey, excuse me. Hey, I saw you over here. I don't want to creep you out or anything. I just thought you were so attractive. I just see what's up. Like,
that's so good, man. That's so good.
Yeah. So there's that. And then, I do that in grocery stores and shit too. If there's like a big group over here, it's not about me. This is a two variable game. It's about her. How can I make her comfortable? So I'm not going to go up with my most night game, loud, confident fucking tone. I'm going to go and be like, hey, excuse me. Hey, I saw you over here, and keep it smooth. But the story that I love to tell, and I think that this is very beneficial for guys to hear, is so one time, have you ever been to South Beach, Miami, by any chance?
No, not yet.
Okay, so if you're ever out there, you'll go to this place called Lincoln Road. And what it is it's similar to 3rd Street Promenade. The difference is that it's entirely lined with restaurants. Okay. So almost any approach you're doing, you're going to have like an audience watching you.
Okay.
And And one time I go into a set with a student and we talk to these two beautiful blonde girls. They're from Norway. It's awesome. It's great. We're going for the numbers. And I'm glancing over and I'm seeing a whole table of people like watching us. I mean, just the whole time.
Yeah.
And we start going for the numbers and they're very adamant about the fact that they have boyfriends and that they're leaving and whatever. So we go walking away, and a guy from the table, he yells out, he's like, yo, that was fucking sick. And we're
Yeah.
like, oh, thanks, man. And first we're like, oh, is he trolling, whatever. He's like, dude, just keep. He was like an older guy, you could tell he had his shit together. His
Yeah.
wife's there, she's pretty, and he's like, you just gotta just do it a few more times, and one of them's gonna give. And
Nice.
that's what high value people feel and think.
Mhm.
It's the people that hate themselves the most that hate on the world around them. I was
Mm.
never a bigger hater in my life than when I hated myself.
Yeah.
When I was that 290-pound fat dude in college, not knowing what I want to do, wasting money, that's when I would be judging everybody the harshest.
Yeah.
And now that I'm in a position in life where I'm so fucking happy, dude,
Yeah.
I have the most empathy I've ever had for the human race, the most sympathy, the most empathy. I'm like,
Mm.
this dude's out here trying, these people are out here trying. I love
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
So it's you'll get a lot of hate, but you just have to realize that that is a direct reflection of the inward hate that they have for themselves.
Yeah, damn, that is so beautiful, man. Like, yeah, being happier, you do see the world a lot better. And you're right. Like people who are struggling will just reflect their inner, traumas and just shitty days on the world. What
Yeah.
I did have a question on like what are some like common pitfalls you see like normal day-to-day guys have with their dating life?
Yeah, so I would say one of the biggest ones is that I
Mhm.
find that guys that when they have when they're almost hopeless, right? When they're just, I've tried everything online, I get no matches. I do day game, it doesn't work. Night game, I hate it. When they're just when they come at you with that hopeless sort of tone,
Yeah.
what I find is that these men, they're typically hopeless everywhere else as well.
Uh,
So they're not realizing that the way you present in that micro moment with this woman is
mhm.
going to be massively dictated by the way you're presenting on a macro level.
Mm.
So is your room wrecked? Does your apartment have a fucking, a giant hole in the wall that you've been meaning to fix for a year? Are you wearing shit clothes because you're too lazy to do the research and just go to the thrift store? It's not a
Mm.
money thing. Like
Yeah.
literally, you can do great research for free on YouTube. Type in men's streetwear, and then you can go to Salvation Army or whatever with $20 and leave with some fresh fits.
Yeah.
So there's that. Are they just doing, just financially? Are you staying at a shit job that you hate that isn't even paying you enough and that makes you unhappy?
Mhm.
Because I think there's some jobs that don't pay well, but people are very happy there. And
Mhm.
that's going to affect your dating life massively when 8 hours of 5 days a week, you're just happy and more content rather than hating your
Mhm.
life.
Yeah.
So, one of the major things is they think in that one moment with the girl, they're just looking at the faucet and they're like, I
Mm.
was really anxious and I didn't know how to move forward and all this
Yeah.
stuff. And it's because in your mental desk, you know that your whole life around you is in shambles. And so because of that, you're not living in integrity with yourself. Therefore, you're going to have a low esteem for yourself, low self esteem.
Yeah.
And because of that, now when you approach a beautiful woman, there's no way in hell you can ever feel worthy of that woman while your life is in shambles.
Yeah.
So, we can definitely get more technical when it comes to approaching and things, but that's the biggest thing I've seen amongst guys that, again, currently feel hopeless is that everything else is also kind of a wreck.
Yeah. So like you're taking a way bigger holistic view of like, yo, get your life together. Like how you did. You got your nutrition right. You took the dairy out. Did you like change up your fits and stuff too? Or how did you start with that?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I didn't for a long time though. I didn't for a long time.
Oh,
I
really?
was
Okay.
Yeah, it took me a long time. And it was my buddy Jason who he's been in a bunch of vids and stuff. A lot of guys who've done boot camps and stuff know him. He usually comes along. But he was one of my first main wings. And he said to me, he's like, dude, you're like pulling fucking consistently. You're really good. You dress like shit. I can't imagine if you started dressing better. And I
Yeah.
was just like, I don't even know what to do. And then he gave me a big box of clothes that he wanted to get rid of anyway.
Yeah.
So then I just started wearing all these clothes from this box and I started looking great,
Yeah.
like new jeans, all this shit. And then eventually there was one day where I was like, oh, I'm going to take this very seriously. And this was, I'm 31 now. This was only a couple years ago. I was probably like 29.
Yeah.
And I took like a grand to Macy's. I did a
Nice.
shit ton of research. I actually bought this chain that same day. I bought this
Hey.
chain that day. And I just bought a bunch of nice ass clothes. And the thing about having good fashion, and I'll say this because it's not even that you have to have good fashion, but the clothes need to fit well.
Mhm.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
You can be wearing jeans and a t-shirt, but making sure you're putting in the effort to make sure that these are all fitting really nicely.
Yeah.
You'll see, Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio. Well, Leonardo DiCaprio is kind of fat, but you'll see a famous actor with just jeans and a t-shirt, and you're like, why does it look so much better on him than it does me?
Mhm.
And the reason why is because all of their clothes are tailored.
Mm.
So I've actually never gone that far to tailor clothes, but I should, and I think a lot of guys should, because I had a student who he told me that he does this. He'll go buy shirts that he likes, and then he
Yeah.
says he's got a tailor where it only costs $10 a shirt for them to do some tucks and things, and now it fits
Perfect.
perfectly.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So and then it was crazy too, because the one thing I wanted to say about fashion is there's something to be said for decorating yourself
Mhm.
as a human.
Yeah.
So when somebody just wears shit clothes, a baggy t-shirt with some stupid, like a funny cartoon on it or some dumb shit, and then some baggy pants, they're kind of saying, hey, I'm not worth being decorated. I'm not worth
Mm.
being painted. If you live in a shithole apartment, you're not going to take the time to paint the walls and to put up some art. You get a
Right.
nice apartment, you're like, yeah, I want this place to look great. So
Mm.
treat yourself like a nice apartment. Treat
Yeah.
yourself like a mansion. And when you decorate yourself, aka you wear a nice watch, maybe some accessories, some nice clothes, what you're signaling to the world around you is, I'm worth it.
Wow.
I take great care in how I look and how I present,
Yeah.
because I am the shit. That's
Yeah.
that's what it's saying. And so it was funny because right after I went and spent all that money on all the clothes, I'm not saying it was just the clothes. I don't know. I can't access a parallel universe to see if I would have been wearing shitty clothes, but it was the next night I went out and I was so pumped. I had this one outfit where I was like, dude, I look the freshest I've ever looked in my life.
Yeah.
Dude, I go out that night and I just meet this bad bitch, this stupid hot fucking half Korean, half white girl. Can this be R-rated? Is this like R-rated?
Dude, you
Or
just say whatever the fuck you want here, bro. It's all
just
open.
just pierced nips, kind of
Yeah.
slightly showing through the shirt, tatted up, just
Yeah.
stupid hot.
Yeah.
Meet her, get her number. Later that night, she's just sending me nudes.
Oh
And
shit.
then I end up fucking her like
Yeah.
2 days later.
Yeah.
And then from there, I end up seeing her for like a year and a half.
Dope. Okay.
And look, and this girl, again, I don't know if it was just the clothes. Obviously, my game had a lot to do with it, my confidence, my follow-up, all that shit. But
Yeah.
this girl took great care of herself. She decorated
Mm.
herself. She was like a nail salon girl. So
Mhm.
she had amazing nails, beautiful done makeup,
Yeah.
nice ass clothes, the nip piercings, right? The tats.
Yeah.
So this is somebody who took great care in her appearance, and therefore she's going to be more of a vibrational match to somebody that takes great care of their appearance as well.
So you're saying you kind of started attracting higher quality women for taking care of yourself.
Totally. Higher quality women that take care of themselves and take great care in the way they present to the world. And so then by me now being a vibrational match to that, I think it made a big difference.
Got it. Cool, man. Okay, I'm gonna ask some deeper questions. So breakups, I'm sure you've gone through some fucked up breakups as I have. Let's talk a little bit about some breakups you've gone through, man.
Yeah, I've had some terrible ones. I've had some
Yeah.
dark breakups.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one girl who I really think I could have given up game for this girl.
Okay.
I really think so. And I
Mm.
was seeing her. One of the things I love about game, this is one of the things I love the fucking most about game, is that you have to put yourself out there more because you never know what's gonna stick. You just have
Mm-hmm.
no idea. So this girl, it was just a night of night game. Nothing amazing was happening. It was just I'm out, I'm doing it. It's
Yeah.
fine. And just this one girl, I end up approaching her, and it was just a quick little approach, maybe about 10-minute interaction. She's with all of her friends, so I just let her get back to that. I go hang out with my wing more, get her number, and dude, just one of the hottest girls I've ever slept with, but easily the hottest girl I ever like locked down for a long period of time, even hotter than
Nice.
the Korean chick.
Okay.
And the problem here was the thing is like I loved this girl, dude. I was
Yeah.
in love with this girl. Everything. The sex was amazing. This girl had one of those like mutant bodies where she somehow has no body fat at all,
Okay.
but then has just a big ass. She was a pog, just a pog, a fat ass white girl, no body fat, super right wing conservative girl.
Yeah.
She was just amazing, everything about her. But here's what happened is that she would talk about how her dream was the following year to go to Russia, and she was already taking Russian classes
Yeah.
in college. And so her life dream was to go to Russia and move there for like 2 years. And so what would happen is I'm like really starting to get more and more emotions for this girl, but she will bring up Russia. And when I go to
Mm.
Russia and all this, and I'm like, well, fuck. So this has a
Date. Yeah.
timeline.
Uh-huh.
So an expiration date, yeah. And so then what happens is basically I just keep pimping it. I keep hooking up with other girls, keep doing my thing, trying to keep myself emotionally distant.
Mm.
And then she'll start saying sweet shit to me, but then I don't really want to say it back because this girl just keeps talking about how she's gonna move.
Move. Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck, I'm already like in love with this girl. And it's like long and complicated, but basically at the end of the day, what it ended up coming down to is she left me because she said that I clearly was not in a place to uh for commitment. And her friends would she had a lot of friends in the area, so her friends would like see me out at bars talking to other girls. She'd hear
Mm-hmm.
about it, but we were never exclusive. So and she just said that she felt the feelings were one way and all this kind of stuff. And so I look back on that, and I'm in an interesting position because I'm a pickup coach, and so I'm out here doing this shit. But for the average guy, it's like at a certain point when time has gone on long enough, when a girl has given you a lot of herself, when she's invested in you somewhat, when she's had sex with you a lot, these kinds of things, then you do have to eventually just, if you love a girl, just be like, yo, I fucking love you.
Yeah.
Just put it out there. And
Yeah.
there's so much dark red pill culture out there that's like, we don't love these hoes, never fucking simp, never whatever. But I
Yeah.
look back on that relationship and I'm like, man, I wish I would have just told that girl I loved her when I felt it. I wish I would have.
That
And
makes my heart hurt.
it was a devastating breakup. It was so dark. It was so bad. And it put me in a dark place for a little while.
Yeah.
And I want to say this too, is like, it's not about abundance or not abundance. I was still fucking other girls. I could go fuck other girls. It wasn't about that, but it was like, damn, I think when you recognize you've got a gem, you've got to do what you can to really hold on to that. And sometimes
Mm.
that means opening up, being vulnerable, putting away that kind of fuck boy, unattached version of yourself.
Yeah. And what helped you get through it? Like, this channel is all about self-development stuff. And the guys are going through breakups, bro, and it's fucking devastating. And you can get into a very deep loathe for yourself and
Yeah.
just fucked up. What are some things that really helped you? Like for me was socializing a lot with friends. If I was home alone during my breakup, bro, I would just spiral. I couldn't stop thinking. I have nightmares, so socializing was a
Mhm.
good thing for me. What kind of stuff did you use to, get you through that?
Well, I want to say this too. one of the biggest mistakes that guys make, and I know that you've had friends that have done this. You might have even done it yourself at some point when you didn't know any better. But what so many guys do is they go all in on their girlfriend and lose their fucking male friends during relationships.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I mean, you know, I've had that happen a bunch of times. Guys I used to wing with, they get long-term girlfriends, disappear on me forever. I'm like, whatever, that's their thing. They're doing their thing. But now they're hitting me up. Dude, I'm like ready to get back out there, man. Me and Christina split, whatever. I'm like, bro, I have like a schedule. I have friends, I have a schedule, I have girls. Like, I'm not gonna like, no, you just ghosted me for 2 years pretty much because you got this girlfriend. You became a little bitch. So 100% friends is how you have to get over breakups. You have to be spending time with friends, with family, and it's important to cultivate that support system in your life to make sure that you have that support system around you. Now, if you're listening to this right now and you just straight up are in a situation where maybe you don't have that many friends, I would really recommend doing even therapy, right? Doing some version of therapy where you've just got you know, an unattached third party that you can really pour it out onto, that you can get some advice and that you can have somebody to talk to about this breakup. Now, one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give, and it's hard for a lot of guys to hear, is that sometimes the only thing that's going to heal a breakup, almost all the time, is time itself. Sometimes, most of the time, almost every time, time is all that's going to heal a breakup. So what that means is that you've got to get through that time period and not be destructive. That's what it comes down to. No matter what your situation is, I promise you, a terrible divorce, breakup, no matter what happens in the next year, 1 year from now, you're going to be feeling a lot better about it. So what do you do in that year? Well, what you have to do is you have to start realizing that your bad breakup or your rut, this is going to be your dark night moment. This is where you're Christian Bale, you're at the bottom of the pit, you're beaten and broken. You have to start doing your fucking push-ups and your chin-ups to fucking climb out of that hole. So this is the time where you say, hey, I've never actually gone all in on the gym. I'm going to hire a fucking fitness coach. I'm going to hire a trainer. I'm going to go all in on getting in great shape. You have to start doing and putting all of your energy into living in alignment with your bigger goals in life. Because so many of those goals get pushed to the wayside while you're in a relationship because that relationship fulfills you so much. So now you've lost that fulfillment from the relationship and you're feeling unfulfilled. So now it's time for you to pour more water into that cup and go all in on even game, dude. Like, don't go out and fuck just because you're trying to fill that hole, but go out and fuck because it's fun and awesome and it's going to pass the time. And you never know. I mean, I've also, not with this girl, that is the most devastating breakup I've ever had, but, and she's as good as it gets. I'll never find a better girl than her ever.
Don't say that. Don't say that shit.
I'm not even going to try. Will I find different than her? Yes, I will find different, but dude, I'll never find better.
Wow.
But what I have had with other breakups is, you know, you go through the breakup, it sucks, and then you end up on a date where you're like, this girl's 20 times better than the girl that I've been all butthurt about and sad about. Like, this is the kind of girl I want to be around. So also getting out there can help you to kind of put things in perspective and realize, hey, it felt like she was my whole world and she was everything, but she wasn't. She's an ant on the mound. The mound is huge. There's so many women out here that I'll be more compatible with.
Yeah. That's interesting that you bring up other women after going through a breakup. I actually coped the wrong way. I was going out. I was like, I know game. Like, I'm going to go out. I'm going to pick up these chicks. And then I started noticing myself being so outcome dependent that, like, if I didn't pull, I'd be like stressed. And it was because, like, I was missing like that connection that I had with my ex that I was trying to fulfill with, you know, whoever was hot that night, and I was able to pull, and I would just like spiral, just like, fuck, man, I didn't pull tonight. Fuck, like, no, we're staying out till fucking 3, 4, 5 a.m. And yeah, it was not good, man. It was not good at all. Like, Yeah, that was a fucking deep hole.
Yeah. It's a fine balance, because exactly that will even start to, when you're gaming from that place, now what you're doing is you're gaming not from inspiration, but from desperation.
Mm-hmm.
You're gaming to, you're trying to run away from the feelings of loneliness and depression, rather than running towards the feelings of feeling great, feeling amazing, being in alignment, getting a better girl, like really focusing on the good.
Yeah.
So it can send you down a dark path where now you're like, fuck, am I ever going to find anyone? I haven't pulled the last fucking 5 nights. Fuck, why
Yeah.
am I not still just with Emily?
Yeah.
It can get dark.
It's fucked up. Other question. Do you think pickup and going out could be a distraction for some guys?
It so you're gonna have different seasons of life. You got
Mm,
to have different seasons. Even I've even had seasons where, I'm a pickup coach,
yeah.
and I'm not, like, I just don't care about game. I've had seasons of
Mm,
that
wow.
usually during around like product launches and shit. When I have
Yeah.
something really big and time intensive, and I'm just doing like boot camp to boot camp and all that, it's like obviously I'm gonna game like crazy on these boot camps, even get laid sometimes on the boot camps, stuff like that. But I'm just not, like, I just don't care. I'm like, I'm all in on
Yeah.
this fucking product, this boot camp, like the fucking business right now. So you're going to have different seasons. That being said, I think that that's a slippery slope, because so many guys, they automatically want to jump to the side of, yes, women are going to get in the way. Pickup's going to get in the way. Doing game is going to
Mm-hmm.
get in the way.
Yeah.
And that's just another one of many coping mechanisms that guys use. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. It's like, no, you're not. You're on Instagram for fucking 2 hours a day. You're listening to Tim Dillon podcast for 3 hours a day, doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not actually utilizing your time wisely. And what I would say is, for a lot of guys, your whatever your business mission is, all of that, if you're a horny dude, if you have a sex drive
Yeah.
and you don't have any women in your life and you're jerking it to porn all the time, that's eroding your soul.
Mm,
And to go out, meet women, be around that feminine energy, it raises testosterone levels. Your
yeah.
testosterone levels are raised when you are around women that are on their ovulation cycle, just before their
Mm.
period. So
Okay.
when you go to a club, you better believe that there's going to be at least 20 bitches in there, 20, 20 beautiful females in there that are
Ovulate.
on their fucking ovulating. They're ovulating. And dude, and you feel it, man. The pheromones are in the air, and you see girls and beautiful. They look fucking so sexy, and it makes you feel like a fucking man.
Yeah.
And I think it enhances your life in many ways, even for these guys that are very busy with business and all this stuff. Elon Musk has always made fucking time. Elon Musk always making time for, for banging hoes out here, getting in relationships. And so I think that also, not just, banging and hooking up, but I think for a lot of guys, most guys just want a girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
right? Most guys want a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I've found that over the years where, I ask guys, what are your goals and stuff? And there's a lot of guys that, I want to like fuck a ton of girls. Most guys just want a loving, beautiful girlfriend that they can have sex with, that will make them dinner, that they can watch Netflix with. And that can really enrich your life. So
Mm-hmm.
to be neglecting the entire aspect of yourself that is pushing you to find love, to neglect that, I think will actually eat more of your time than actually going out and going for it.
Wow. Wow. That's really beautiful. What do you want? What are you going for?
I kind of go back and forth on this over the years. I really see myself, I always have, and I still, there's a part of me that sees myself being married. I think that when you're in your later years in life, I think that it starts to get very lonely and sad if you don't have children by the time you're, maybe 50.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you're 50, 60, 70, I think that a lot of times you're going to end up very lonely and sad without children.
Mm.
And I think that the best way to raise those children is to be married, to be in a monogamous relationship with a wife. And that's what I see for myself in the future. That being said, I do think that marriage laws, and many men are aware of this, but I think marriage laws are very unfair to men.
Right. Yeah.
I fear there's a big part of me that, she's gotta be, I mean, she's gotta be my fucking queen. Like this
Hmm.
girl has to be fucking everything to me. And not only that, but also, you got to look at her family's relationship,
Yeah, definitely.
her parents' relationship. Is her mom still, in shape, submissive to her father, those sorts of things? Are they still married? Women with parents that are still married are astronomically less likely to get divorced themselves.
Mm.
So they're more likely to go through those difficult times with you. And I think, it scares me and probably a lot of other men to think about the idea that because these marriage laws are so unfair to men, that a woman can just change. A
Hmm.
woman can just change 5 years into this marriage, 1 year into the marriage, and she kind of has you by the balls.
Mm.
She can just change. She doesn't want to have sex anymore. She lets herself go. She's maybe not even whatever. She just changes. You don't like her anymore. You
Hmm.
might still have love for her, but you're like, I don't like this person. But if I divorce her, it's going to cost me an astronomical amount of money. I'm
Right.
going to have to pay alimony. I'm going to pay all this shit, child support. Maybe if we have kids, everything gets sticky. So I do think that I will end up later in life in some version of a monogamous long-term relationship with children, whether that ends up being a marriage or some sort of an agreement.
Okay. So kids for sure.
Yeah, you got to have kids, man. There's a
Yeah.
lot of guys who think that they don't want to have kids. I think it's a dark road. I
Hmm.
think it's a dark road to not have kids in your later years. The things that brought me joy when I was 21 don't bring me joy anymore. If
Yeah.
you asked me at 20, are you going to smoke weed forever? I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? I will never stop weed. A couple years later, all of a sudden it's just making me tired, like only tired. I'm not having fun. All I'm
Yeah.
doing is like falling asleep in social settings because I'm high. And then it starts turning into like anxiety. And I just hate weed. I
Yeah.
loved it for about 5 years, hate it now.
Yeah.
So it's so easy for guys to think, I'm never going to want to have kids and settle down. I'm going to pimp it till I'm 50 and all this stuff. But you're going to end up living an empty life if you don't have children. And that could be adopting children. That can be, I guess that's it, like adopting or having your own.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you start getting into your 50s, 60s, and you don't have a family around you, you had shoulder surgery, you had knee surgery, you're just getting old and you don't have anyone around you, it's going to suck.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So I think a lot of men should kind of be aware that that's something that they should be kind of gearing their life towards, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely kids. Let's talk about your baby, Evolution Daily. Like, how's that going, and where do you want to take that? Because that's your own business. That's what you're running, and you don't have any other supplemental income, right? You're not working any other job. You're
Right.
basically living that fucking dream of like, this is what I love to do, and I'm fucking doing it, and it supports me. So I know a lot of guys want to transition from their day job to doing what they're fucking really passionate about. So could you give us like some advice or just like how you did that?
Yeah. So the first thing is you're going to go through a long period of time where you're talking to a brick wall.
Mm,
So you're going to go through, and it's not just with building an online brand. Here's what I always say. The people that are going to make it are the ones that can get through that long dark beginning where nobody gives a fuck about what they're doing.
mm,
Those are the people that are going to make it, and nobody gets through that period.
mm.
Since I've been a pickup coach, I've been full time for about 5 years, going on 6, I believe. Full time, 100%, no other job, nothing. And I have been consistent as fuck. I have never stopped putting out content.
There
I've
we go.
never stopped making programs. I'm never going to stop. I love this shit. I enjoy it. I'm going to do it till the day I die, 100%. Um, and the thing is in those beginning stages, it's not easy.
Hmm.
And so you've got to be very passionate, but you've got to go really, really hard until one person starts caring, two people start caring, 3, 4, 5, 10 people. You just are gonna have to plow through those initial phases where you're nobody.
Yeah.
You're nothing. And I've seen, since I've been full time, I've seen so many pickup coaches come out of the woodwork. They announce their big thing. Maybe they start making videos hating on other pickup coaches. They're like, I'm the king. I'm going to be this, fuck, whatever. And then they disappear in 3 months. They
Mm,
disappear. They're just gone. Why? Well, it's because so many people get into this space and self-development because all you really have to have is an iPhone. If you have a phone, you can have a brand. That's it. I can make videos and I have a brand. So because there's such a low barrier to entry, and because so many people are fans of self-development and game, now everyone thinks they can do it. And then when they start realizing, oh, fuck, nobody's buying my boot camp, nobody's buying my mentorship. Well, this sucks. I'm not passionate about it anymore because I was just trying to get rich. So you've got to be passionate, and you've got to go through that long period at the beginning where just one by one, you're getting new fans, new people that are now maybe spreading the word, those sorts of things. And most people don't have the fortitude to get through that period. And so what I would say is, it's like, when you get started, you got to plan on not making any money from this, getting no accolades, getting no joy, maybe for a long time. And then what happens is, when you first were the guy that, oh, this guy just popped up, who's this nerd? Now, 6 months later, you're the guy that's been putting out good content for 6 months. Now, 2 years later, you're becoming a staple. Now, 4 years later, you're in it. You're in the industry. You've earned it. People respect you now. So it's something that takes a lot of time and extreme consistency, because if you don't have consistency, then I can see through your lack of passion. People do this all the time. These self-development guys, pickup guys, they disappear for 6 months. Guys, I'm back. It's like every video they drop is an I'm back video. Every piece of content is like, I'm back. That's it. Because they disappeared for 6 months. So you gotta be mentally tough. And that's a big part of why game helps as well, because there is no greater arena for mental fortitude and mental strength than going out, putting your balls on the line day in and day out, getting brutal rejections, getting wins, getting more brutal rejections. You're entering the gladiator's arena. And through that mental combat with yourself, through that constantly overcoming. I know you do ice baths and shit, right?
Yeah.
Dude, every time you stare at that ice and you're like, fucking god damn it. Dude, I'm fine right now. I don't have to get in the fucking ice. Fuck. But every time you do that and you dip into that fucking ice, you become stronger.
Yeah.
Every single time. So there's ways to build that as men. I think the ice baths or ice showers are great. I think going to the gym is great. And I think talking to a lot of girls is great, because you're just sharpening the sword over and over again. And whatever venture you end up getting into, my buddy was just making bank at a fucking car dealership. Dude, he dedicated his life to cryptocurrencies. He did more research than anyone I've ever known.
Wow.
And he quit his dealership job because he's making so much money off of like short-term trading cryptocurrencies.
Wow.
And long game shit, of course, too. But just, following the news in depth on this particular coin, and knowing if the app developer is going on a vacation in 2 weeks. And so maybe the coin might like sink during that 2 weeks. So he's waiting to buy. He buys on the vacation. It fucking skyrockets after. I mean, so anything you're going to do in your life, if you're going to go through the motions and just don't even do it, you have to be all fucking in. And you have to recognize that everyone lied to you growing up. You're not special. You're not a little star. You're not like, things aren't just going to work out for you. You have to realize that the world is cold. Everybody is crabs in a bucket trying to reach the top. And so you not going all in is you might as well just not even do it.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. I fucking love that so much. Okay, last thing I got for you, man, is what's next for you, dude? What's coming up? What's on your horizon? What are you going to try to achieve next? I mean, you've accomplished a lot. So what's next for you, man?
When is this going to drop?
I'll probably wait about a month. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So by the time that this goes live, my new course, Dating PhD, will be live.
Dope.
And what Dating PhD is it's the highest education available on game and relationships.
Okay.
It's the highest level you can get to. It's science and systems that work. It's 50 in-field videos. it's all of my past courses plus new content, online game, pick up everything. And what I want this course to be, and what it is, since you guys listening it'll be available right now at datingphd.com, is I want this to be my legacy.
Okay. Fuck
This
yeah.
this program is literally 10 years in the making, 10 years in the field.
Whoa.
It is, whether you're in game or you're not, you could just be a normal guy on the street and you're like, dude, I just have no idea how to get women. This is the one all-encompassing course where there's nothing left out. There's no stone unturned. So this has been what I've been the most passionate about in creating for a long time. Again, it is live by the time they hear this, but there's no greater education out there in the world. And this is what I want to be remembered for. I want there to be a generation of children that were born because of Dating PhD.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, bro. And you're gonna have to send me a link so I can put it here and the guys get a shirt.
Yeah, I'll send you an affiliate link so you can get a cut.
Fuck yeah. Dude, well, thank you so much for being on, bro. We covered a lot of dope ass topics, especially around the self-development stuff. So I appreciate you. Guys, go check out Aaron Alexander. Where can they find you on Instagram and on Facebook if you're on Facebook?
Yeah, you guys can just search Evolution Daily everywhere. And then I think when you search that on Facebook, I come up as Aaron Alexander, but definitely get with me over on Facebook because I drop so much exclusive content over there.
Sick.
You know, there's guys that they'll be on my boot camp and they've only ever followed me on YouTube. And then I'll mention Facebook. They're like, oh, you do videos there too? And I'm like, fuck, man, I do so much shit on Facebook. So it's Aaron Alexander, Evolution Daily on Facebook. And then, Evolution Daily on YouTube and everywhere else.
Awesome. Well, go check him out, guys. And thank you, Aaron, for being on, man.
Yeah, bro. Thank you for having me.
Of course.